Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 197 based on novel. So let's start. Luo Feng and Kulu Fu, the final battle as one only sends his consciousness into the virtual universe network. The geniuses battling in the virtual universe all had the same universe level 9 bodies simulated by the virtual universe network. Everybody had the same structure and physical bodies. Then, any way to increase Luo Feng's strength would have to rely on one's consciousness. How would he get stronger? The Mosha clansman was a favored child of space. The golden horned beast's right claw was its strongest trump card. Even his earth body was a blood warrior. However, these were all useless. Because the body Luo Feng used in the virtual universe was simply a normal body, it didn't have the Mosha clansman's specialties and no blood river power. And Luo Feng's true cheating method was the natural ability, strengthen. Back then, when the golden horned beast had its head blown off on Earth, it raged and unleashed its natural ability, strengthen. Its offensive powers not only exploded, even its flying speed grew by a lot. Later, after Luo Feng repossessed it, it had once let the golden horned beast unleash its natural ability strengthen while he controlled the hybrid copper essence shard, destroying the group of elites from the Nuo Lanshan family. Natural ability, it strengthened everything, body, soul, everything. Instantly doubled. Under the effects of strengthening, one's speed, strength and consciousness etc. would all increase one entire time, doubled altogether. Doubling one's consciousness strength would allow Luo Feng's consciousness within the virtual universe network to naturally double. At the time of battle, I'll let the golden horned beast in the real world unleash its strengthening ability. Immediately my soul within the core would strengthen and my consciousness would double. With a stronger consciousness, firstly it'll make my strength higher. Then my control and power of the Nanshan armament would be stronger. Luo Feng thought. Stronger consciousness pressure? Stronger Nanshan armament? It indeed made Luo Feng's strength grow by a lot. However, this move is considered cheating. Luo Feng thought the battles within the virtual universe all use the same body structures. It's mainly to test one's law comprehension and technique strengths along with battle experience etc. And through the golden horned beast's natural ability strengthening, using my stronger consciousness to add to my strength, it is considered cheating. However, my miraculous encounters should be considered a type of strength too, right? Luo Feng thought. Luo Feng may seem like he was cheating, however, as he could use it while his consciousness was in the virtual universe made it so that it wasn't forbidden and naturally not considered cheating. It could only be considered suspect to cheating. Within the living room, True Yang Emperor saw that Luo Feng seemed to be deep in thought. He laughed. Don't stress yourself out, losing this match isn't a big deal. Who hasn't encountered setbacks and difficulty? What's more, I'm already very satisfied with your performance this time. And that Kulu Fu is indeed much stronger than you. Even if you lose, no one will say anything. Luo Feng nodded. Calm yourself and maintain your pinnacle condition. True Yang suddenly stood up, saying, even though you don't have much hope of winning, this battle has attracted the attention of many people. Even the upper echelon beings are noticing this battle. Hence, you have to give your all before you lose, then you won't have any regrets. Yes, teacher. Luo Feng nodded. Calm down and rest. True Yang nodded, after which he left the virtual universe network. Seeing his teacher leave, Luo Feng then sat down quietly, staring at the table and muttering, Kulu Fu, no matter what, I will use my greatest strength to fight you. I cannot simply hide my power and just hand the Primal region slot to you. Who will finally win? We'll see at the final battle. Luo Feng closed his eyes and collected himself. Mental state was indeed a great influence on one's strength. Hence calming himself and maintaining his pinnacle condition was a very important preparation. Absolute beginning region. That Yu Feng gave me a minor problem. Kulu Fu sat in his own wine cellar. It was filled with large amounts of many types of alcohol. He lifted a huge glass cup and took a big sip, his eyes filled with anticipation. No one else was even a threat. That punk Luo Feng, he indeed has amazing potential. If it weren't for 100 years ago when I did the dangerous level mission and discovered that mission world's huge secret, allowing me to gain a miraculous encounter with my basic foundation strength rising greatly, I wouldn't be able to defeat him. Wolfman Kulu Fu thought within. He recalled the great encounter he went through over 100 years ago. He was still very excited. That encounter gave him a true chance to rise up. The current him indeed had the power to pass the 8th level of the Heavenly Bridge, but he didn't rush over to attempt it. Because he was preparing to do it only after the qualification battles, it wouldn't be late then. As for now, defeating him won't be hard at all. Wolfman Kulu Fu's eyes gleamed with a sense of wildness. If I'm able to make it into the primal region this time, then I'll get one more chance to take on another impossible level mission. And more dangerous level missions. I think I'll be able to get the big secrets from those missions. The most awaited battle of the qualification battles, the final battle between Luo Feng and Kulu Fu was about to begin. This battle had attracted the attention of many. Everybody wished to see just who would finally get the primal region slot. Amongst those spectating, there was one very special person. Feng. Shushin sat in the corner of a noisy bar. Within it floated 4 enormous screens. They were playing the many battles of the qualification battles. The moment the most exciting match of all, Luo Feng against Kulu Fu began, they would all be able to watch it. The bar was filled with discussions, be it complimenting Kulu Fu or shocked at Luo Feng's strength. Shushin was in the corner silently listening to the group of geniuses from the many universe countries all discussing her husband. She couldn't help but feel proud within. I believe you'll definitely win. Shushin thought within. Silently sitting in the sofa, Luo Feng suddenly heard a familiar sound in his ears. Luo Feng, your 5th contest battle for the primal region slot is about to begin. Your opponent is Kulu Fu. This made Luo Feng instantly open his eyes. They gleamed with an unstoppable resolve. Luo Feng was transported into the arena. And in reality, within the core of Demon Mountain in the absolute beginning region, on the inheritance steps of the Inheritance Palace. Within his internal world as he sat cross-legged. The golden horned beast which was like a huge black mountain range, its huge dark golden eyes gleamed with anticipation. It had already prepared, ready to unleash its natural ability strengthen. The moment the battle began, it would unleash it. Virtual Universe, Contest Battles, Luo Feng vs Kulu Fu. Within the arena, Luo Feng felt the sky and land warp, after which he stood on the ground. He looked around. With a glance, he saw the endless primal forests. The air was somewhat moist. The gravity here is about 12 times that of Earth. The air temperature is about 82 degrees. Luo Feng instantly did the calculations within. The dark red armor on his surface had long formed a perfectly fitting armor, even forming a helmet on his head, the dark golden long rod on his back, the screen on his wrist. On it information appeared. Luo Feng looked around. The primal forest was extremely dense and hard to see through. He swiftly rose into the sky and flew a 1,000 meter up, in the air above the forest. Ah, where is he? Luo Feng frowned, after which he carefully tried to sense him. The virtual universe system would normally transport both exponents pretty close to each other. They would normally feel and sense each other clearly. This time, however, Luo Feng realized he couldn't feel a sense of life or energy within the area. Luo Feng stood in the air above the primal forest and roared, Kulu Fu. Come out, come out. Come out. Come out. His voice resounded over and over within the space, strongly creating ripples through kilometers about the forest. Yuxiong Mountain Public Region. Many restaurants and bars, along with many living quarters of the core members, many had opened their screens to spectate the battle. Yu Feng against Mo Luo, battle ongoing, able to watch footage soon. Bolan against Long Yun, battle ongoing, able to watch footage soon. Luo Feng against Kulu Fu, battle yet to begin, please wait. This was the information shown on the screen about the 3 matches. The other 2 matches were displayed easily. They even began already. Only the most exciting and most crucial of battles, Luo Feng against Kulu Fu. The battle had yet to begin. What's going on? Shouldn't the 3 matches all begin simultaneously? Why hasn't Luo Feng against Kulu Fu's battle begun yet? What's going on? The bar was bustling with shouts and noise. Shushin, who was sitting in the corner too, frowned as she looked at the huge screen. The words displayed on the screen were very clear. Luo Feng against Kulu Fu, battle yet to begin, please wait. Yu Feng has lost, Mo Luo has won. Long Yun has lost, Bolan has won. The other 2 battles have ended. However, the screen that was connected to Luo Feng's battle still showed the same prompt as before. Luo Feng against Kulu Fu, battle yet to begin, please wait. Has something happened to the screen? I'm looking at me. The group of core members in the bar all stood before the screen in mid-air, the one connected to Luo Feng's match against Kulu Fu. The screen still showed the same prompt, Luo Feng against Kulu Fu, battle yet to begin, please wait my ass, this is the most crucial match. What's going on? The group of core members were all anxious. Shushin was anxious too, Wuka, Rongjun, and the others were all anxious too as they held their breaths. Even Luo Feng's teacher True Yang Emperor, along with the upper echelon of the Virtual Universe Company, they were all suspicious too. In the arena, in the air above the primal forest, Luo Feng looked about. What's going on? Why hasn't Kulu Fu appeared? Luo Feng frowned. Luo Feng. The virtual universe system's voice rang in his ears again. Since the beginning of the fifth match till now, Kulu Fu's consciousness has yet to enter the virtual universe network, hence we've been unable to transport him here. The verdict is, Kulu Fu has forfeited. Luo Feng stared wide-eyed. Forfeited? There were a total of 5 rounds in the contest battles. Every round had 3 battles that had fixed timings. The virtual universe company would definitely never delay or postpone the matches just because of someone who didn't enter the virtual universe network. The match timings are all released much earlier. If one party fails to enter the virtual universe network at the time, then they would immediately be deemed as forfeiting. Simultaneously, the other party would automatically achieve victory from that match. Hence, this battle, Luo Feng won without even fighting. Consecutive 5 wins. 5 points, 100%, acquiring first place. How can this be? Luo Feng's expression while he stood in the primal forest was complex. For his last battle he had prepared to fight it out with all he had, even though he didn't have any chance for victor for this battle. Even if he failed, he wanted to have a thrilling battle all and all. Who had expected such an outcome? Luo Feng was transported out of the arena. In that bar in Yuxiong Mountain, the screen on it still displayed. Luo Feng's battle against Kulu Fu has yet to begin, please wait. However, it quickly followed up with another prompt. Luo Feng's match against Kulu Fu, since Kulu Fu has failed to enter the virtual universe network within the set time, he's been deemed as automatically forfeiting. Luo Feng wins this battle. The bar was chaotic. Those that were discussing why their battle had yet to begin saw as the words on the screen suddenly changed. It however made the initially chaotic bar grow silent. Pure silence. The geniuses from the many universe countries gathered in the bar were all completely stunned, almost like back on Earth many years back during the World Cup, when everybody was highly anticipating the finals, the most anticipated match of all. Suddenly one team met with a vehicle accident right before, with many of their players heavily injured and crippled etc., making them have no choice but to forfeit. This was simply fate's joke. What's going on? What joke is this? Is it true? After the silence, the entire bar erupted in chaos. The final battle is the one that will determine the slot of the Primal region. Why hasn't the Kulu Fu entered the virtual universe? No one doubted the words on the screen, as these were generated by the virtual universe system. After all, this system, within the entire humanity, it was never, ever, wrong. They'd rather believe that trillions of people had made a mistake before even suspecting that the system would make one. Even Shushin, who was in the corner of the bar paying attention to all this, was stunned. She had thought about Luo Feng winning or losing, however she never expected he'd win like that. Primal region contest battle slot, universe level, has ended. 15 matches all ended. Luo Feng consecutively won 5 matches. He won first place and acquired the Primal region slot. The others, Mo Luo, Kulu Fu, Yu Feng, Long Yun and Bolan were all set to enter the absolute beginning region. The outcome of the contest battles naturally spread fast. As for Luo Feng entering the Primal region, it was actually still something the core geniuses could all accept. As even though he won without fighting that last battle, Luo Feng had indeed won all 4 of his previous matches. To be able to defeat Mo Luo and Yu Feng proved that he already had the strength of a Primal region member. Secondly, Luo Feng's time in the virtual universe company was extremely short, his first qualification battles, and he still provided such a shocking performance against the seniors that had trained for thousands of years. Lastly, his talent, from the perspectives of the groups of geniuses, was probably even more absurd than Kulu Fu. All it took was maybe 1 or 2 more qualification battles and Luo Feng's place in the Primal region would be definitely secured. That was a given. Hence, for such an absolute genius like Luo Feng making it into the Primal region, everybody could accept it. However, what everybody couldn't accept the most or was dumbfounded by was, why did Kulu Fu not enter the virtual universe in the most critical time? If he wanted to forfeit, there were many geniuses that knew or regarded their own strengths as too weak, forfeiting long before their battles. Kulu Fu's situation was rare. Luo Feng's entry into the Primal region spread fast. There were many different reactions. Some were incredibly happy, like his teacher Tru Yen Emperor. He laughed carefree, "Ha, my good disciple made it into the Primal region in his first qualification battles, good." Others were gritting their teeth and clenching their fists, like the Primal region member Mo Luo, who was now reduced to an absolute beginning member. He grit his teeth in hate. This Luo Feng actually got stupid lucky. The Kulu Fu must be an idiot too, not showing up in the critical time. Did he really die? Some were shocked, like the Undying stationed at Demon Note Mountain official Po Yu. She frowned. This Puck is actually alive. And he made it into the Primal region? The 1000 Star Sect and their idiots. They are all simply useless. Others worshipped him, like the same batch of geniuses in the last phase and sky and land regions. They all said excitedly, "Who says the newbies are weak? Luo Feng from our batch still made it into the primal region? What are you saying, that it's only due to Kulu Fu's forfeiting? Rubbish. Even if Kulu Fu defeated Luo Feng this time, he'll quickly be exceeded by Luo Feng in the future." To acquire the primal region slot was simply an incredible cause for celebration. Rongjian, Wuka and his other friends, his own brothers Hong, Thunder God and his family, parents, wife and children, younger brother etc., they all congratulated him. Even the people from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire and Ganwu Universe country had sent congratulations and presents to his family. Celebration, it is a good thing, however I'm not excited by this. Luo Feng sat in his study, his emotions mixed. The most critical battle of the contest battles, Kulu Fu actually forfeited and didn't show up. This was like a thorn that constantly reminded Luo Feng that this name slot wasn't acquired properly. Of course, the chance to enter the primal region was incredibly valuable. Since he had it now, he wouldn't automatically give it up. Luo Feng wasn't that rigid. Luo Feng, don't trouble yourself. For such miraculous encounters, people go through all means to find ways to get them. Be it gambling, or killing, like that Mo Luo backstabbing you. They do everything they can for victory. The Kulu Fu not showing up is his own failure to grab the opportunity. Who can you blame? Barbata said, "Don't think about it. Those with poor resources and low opportunities would all use their lives to fight for such chances. Your teacher back then too fought through all this one step at a time. Why are you still thinking about this?" "I understand." Luo Feng nodded. "An encounter that enters my palm, I naturally won't give it up. It's only there's this thorn in my mind. Why didn't Kulu Fu show up? 1. He died. 2. He was held up by something. 3. It may be due to some special reasons. There's only these 3 circumstances. Why are you thinking so much about it?" The fist-sized Barbata on his shoulder said. Luo Feng nodded. However, within he still felt uneasy. Why did Kulu Fu not show up at the critical moment? Did he really die? On the second day after the battles ended, Luo Feng had to move out of the absolute beginning region and move to Yuxiong Mountain's primal region. Within his villa in the absolute beginning region, Luo Feng, Wuka, Rongjian, Rhen and Qian Shui and the others had gathered, as a form of celebration and sending off of Luo Feng into the primal region. After the many friends left, Luo Feng sat alone in his living room. On that exquisite sofa, he looked about. This place, he had lived here for very, very long. "I have to leave." Luo Feng muttered. "Luo Feng, there's a letter from the Virtual Universe Company." Barbata shouted on his shoulder. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. He swiftly tapped and opened a screen in mid-air, swiftly opening the newest mail there. The mail opened. Declaration: during this time's universe-level qualification battles for the primal region slot, the final battle was forfeited by Kulu Fu. During the entire proceedings of the competition, he was engaged in an impossible-level mission. The impossible-level missions have a death rate of up to 90%, they are extremely dangerous. From the fact that he's failed to log into the virtual universe since then, it's very likely that he may have fallen in that impossible mission. We once again strongly advise. The training missions are very important to every universe-level member, but you must pick those that you are capable of. Exceeding one's limit might cost your life. There are many absolute geniuses who've fallen in the history of the impossible-level missions. About half of the deaths for the universe-level primal region members are all from the impossible missions. Once again we emphasize the same words. The company has prepared all the resources for everybody. The path, however, is chosen by yourself. What? Luo Feng was shocked at the mail. This Kulu Fu was actually in an impossible-level mission during the entire qualification battles? Impossible-level mission. It was extremely dangerous, even now in the only one he's been in, Demon Note Mountain. The only reason why he could safely survive was due to his willpower that far exceeded the other geniuses. Along with his Mosha clansman body, they had an interlinked dependency. If it weren't for the Mosha clansman, Luo Feng would have long lost his life. And it was usually very hard to find a safe spot in the impossible-level missions. Like Luo Feng, he relied on the Mosha body and got lucky, reaching the Inheritance Palace and core of Demon Mountain. Only then could he safely send a large part of his consciousness to enter the virtual universe network. If it weren't for my trump cards, which are suitable for Demon Note Mountain, I would most probably have died in the impossible-level mission. Luo Feng thought, but Kulu Fu, Even though he was taking part in the qualification battles, he probably had to maintain a high level of alertness with a large part of his consciousness outside. Just like what the company had said, he could very likely have fallen. Whether he was dead or alive, it was very hard to determine even by the virtual universe company in a short amount of time. As the world in which the impossible level mission was on was usually very dangerous, for the virtual universe company to be able to confirm his situation was very hard to do in a short amount of time. Just like how Luo Feng disappeared for a few years, the company had no way to confirm. Luo Feng was shocked by this declaration. Many core members still unsatisfied by the result of the competition were all completely shocked after reading this too. Wolfman Kulu Fu was participating in the qualification battles while in the impossible mission zone. The Primal region, Absolute Beginning region and the elites of all 4 regions were all shocked that Kulu Fu actually was so daring, doing such a dangerous thing. The impossible level missions were considered forbidden areas to the universe level members of Yuxiong Mountain. Impossible level, 90% die there, who would still dare send such a large portion of their consciousness into the virtual universe network. Your Majesty, the leader Sector Lord Aojuo bowed from the courtyard. He was followed by a group of guards along with the rest of the staff. As they all bowed, Luo Feng walked out of the living room, looking at the group of guards. He was somewhat sad, as he was about to move to the Primal region. Naturally he had to separate from this group that was under him. He immediately said, Aojuo, you and your group have been with me for close to 200 years. Even though we part now and you'll no longer be my guards, we'll still always be friends. Your Majesty. Sector Lord Aojuo and the rest were moved by those words. The position of a Primal region member was extremely high. Much higher than Aojuo and the others, yet Luo Feng still spoke those simple words. Even if he only said it to appease them, it made their hearts warm anyway. You all seem like you don't want me to leave. Haha, you never know, I might get kicked out of the Primal region some year. Luo Feng laughed and joked, when that happens, I'll need you all to be my guards again. How can you say that? Since your Majesty could make it into the Primal region, you won't get kicked out ever. Aojuo said. The competition will always be there, there is no absolute. Luo Feng laughed and shook his head. All right, all of you, our adventure together ends here. After he finished, Luo Feng rushed into the sky. Aojuo and the over 100 guards along with many more staff members all watched as his silhouette disappeared into the endless skies. They all sighed. Their strength and position was low, they could only be guards and staff. Luo Feng, however, was a true absolute genius favored by the upper echelon members of the virtual universe company. Some normal undyings, to these upper echelon members, do not even compare to these absolute geniuses. After saying goodbye to Lady Fox and leaving Absolute Beginning region, he arrived shortly after at Primal region. The main entrance of the Primal region was much more majestic, using grey ancient stones to make the shocking entrance. Your Majesty Luo Feng. A white-bearded old man in a white robe waved at him. He gave off an aura that brightened up the entire area, making people feel warm and comfortable. He was like a sun. Welcome to the Primal region and congratulations on becoming a Primal region member. Thanks. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. I am Aritor, the manager of the Primal region. The white-robed man's white beard floated gracefully in the wind. Please follow me. Luo Feng followed Aritor and flew in mid-air. And the group of sector lords that were originally following behind Aritor and bowing began a hushed discussion about the new member Luo Feng. In mid-air, Luo Feng and Aritor were flying. While flying, Luo Feng gazed down below and was shocked as he felt a powerful ripple of origin law rippling over from somewhere far away. Your Majesty Luo Feng, Aritor saw what happened and smiled. The greatest difference between the Primal region and the Absolute Beginning region is that there are more undyings living here. Firstly, every Primal region member would be given a guard team. Aritor said, they will have an undying lead the team. And every Primal region member can pick their own undying teacher that will stay long-term with them in their villa. Hence, the number of undyings here is much higher than that of any other region. Luo Feng couldn't help but nod. It was indeed so, with an undying in the guard team, and another as his teacher. Every member would at least have 2 undyings sticking close to them. The entire Primal region has a total of 113 villas. Aritor pointed down below at the continuous never-ending row of villas. There are 100 Sector Lord members, 10 Domain Lord members, 3 Universe-level members. Every member is our virtual universe company's most valuable treasures. Luo Feng nodded. Right. A Sector Lord's lifespan reached up to 1,000 eras. In that 1,000 eras, out of the entire 1,008 universe countries, the virtual universe company only absorbs 113 members. This alone showed how high these 113 were in position. It far exceeded the normal undyings. Of course, the difficulty for remaining within the primal region was definitely the highest for the sector lords. The two tore through the skies. They flew past the many 1,000s of Li villas. Finally, after a while, Arituo began to slow down. That villa 113 is your Majesty's villa. Arituo pointed at the spacious villa. Luo Feng looked down and gazed at it. The villa's walls were like a continuous mountain range, extending on forever, until the end of one's vision. Just in terms of surface area, this villa was larger than any of Earth's countries' territories. Of course, within the vast universe, using an entire planet as one's home territory was a common thing. Undyings had their god countries, and these were extremely vast. Hence to the Undyings, using an entire planet as a villa was considered simple living. Arituo and Luo Feng landed at the entrance of the villa, and there, lined up in an orderly fashion, were groups of his guards and staff. With one glance, they easily reached up to 10,000 people. At the front of them all stood a bald man dressed in a black exquisite-looking robe. This man had a silver scale and some engravings on his forehead. "Your Majesty." The bald man slightly bowed. "Greetings, Your Majesty." Over 1,000 of his soldiers behind him all knelt down on one knee and shouted respectfully, their energies united as one. "Greetings, Your Majesty." The 10,000 staff members all knelt down, incomparably humble and respectful. These staff were all specially picked and nurtured by the Virtual Universe Company. They were used to service the Virtual Universe Company's true core members. To these staff, being able to work for a Primal Region member was of the utmost honor. "Your Majesty Luo Feng, this is the leader of your guards, Dylan." Arituo pointed at the bald man and said, "Dylan is an Undying specializing in soul attack and defense. He is extremely strong. Amongst the many guard team generals, he is considered of the top class." Luo Feng was shocked within. As he was close to his teacher True Yang Emperor, he was very clear on the strength distribution. According to position, General, Official, Emperor. And under the Virtual Universe Company, official level Undyings could easily kill a group of normal Undyings. Hence, in truth, the most normal Undying, compared to the official level Undying, had a great difference in between. This made the difference between a general level Undying and a normal Undying extremely huge too. The stronger generals are even close to official level, the highest. Doesn't that mean he's close to an official? Luo Feng was shocked, and he specializes in soul attack and defense. Such a powerful general, why would he become my guard leader? Your Majesty, my teacher is Bloodthirst Emperor. The bald man bowed slightly. 3-Road Senior? Luo Feng was shocked. True Yang's lifespan was incredibly long. At least Luo Feng still wasn't clear on just how long he had lived. But it was definitely much longer than missed emperors. And he was very cautious in accepting disciples. He had to be good in character and temper or he wouldn't be accepted at all. However, the path to Undying was extremely tough. Becoming an emperor was even harder. Amongst True Yang's disciples, only his third disciple became an emperor. The Grandmaster is very concerned about you, his disciple. A voice resounded within Luo Feng's mind. He's worried that when you reach Domain Lord level and you go out to explore. Hence he arranged for someone he trusted to become the leader of your guards. I sent out my request and the other generals aren't as strong as I am, hence naturally I passed. Luo Feng looked at this bald man, a smile appearing on his face. He was actually the senior in terms of hierarchy of this Undying. With this relationship, Luo Feng opened up a lot easier to this bald man. However, Luo Feng decided at the time too, when he got back, he would contact his teacher True Yang Emperor. "Mr. Dylan, I'll be in your hands from now on." Luo Feng said. "This is my job." Dylan bowed. "Ha ha, Your Majesty Luo Feng, Dylan is the leader of your guards. He is also the manager of your villa. I'll let him tell you about the other matters. I'll take my leave first. If you have any need of my help, please feel free to look for me." Arituo smiled. "Thank you, Mr. Arituo." Luo Feng expressed his gratitude. After which, the white-haired old man became a beam of light and swiftly left. "Your Majesty, please follow me." The bald Dylan led the way and brought Luo Feng on a tour of his villa to get used to it. Within the training grounds of the villa, Luo Feng stood there respectfully. A screen floated before him. There stood the golden armored ape-man True Yang Emperor. "Teacher?" Luo Feng bowed respectfully. "You've met Dylan." True Yang laughed loudly. After hearing those words, Luo Feng knew immediately that Dylan was indeed sent by his teacher. "In the future, when you enter the Domain Lord level, you'll be placed outside with great authority." True Yang said on the screen, "The power will affect you in many ways that you cannot imagine, and while you'll have glory on one hand, you'll face dangers on another. Many of them you won't be able to imagine now. Some of these dangers are even more dangerous than what you may find at the impossible level missions. Luo Feng was shocked. And because of my temper, it's made me have many enemies outside. Tru Yang said, of course those rubbish bugs do not dare come mess with me. But I'm worried they may come mess with you, enemies? Luo Feng was shocked. Once you are placed outside, you won't be as safe as being here in the core of the virtual universe company. Tru Yang Emperor said, of course they wouldn't dare openly attack you because the moment I discover them, they would be dead without a doubt. Tru Yang's natural strength and brutality didn't make others feel like it was tyranny, rather, more of a natural thing altogether. Teacher, if you have enemies, why don't you go kill them? Luo Feng asked. Tru Yang seemed rather embarrassed about it. He said, my student, your teacher's way of doing things usually doesn't beat around the bush. I say whatever I want to, and do whatever I want to. Back then I killed many and scolded many. In an instant, I made many enemies too. Just who I've offended and all, actually I'm not very sure myself. Anyway, there are many little matters that others might hold grudges to. Luo Feng couldn't help but be speechless. However, no one dares to openly come attack me. Those that have are all dead. Tru Yang smiled as he said, let's not talk about this, there's one more very important thing. Now that you are in the Primal region, you have the right to pick an undying teacher to stick with you for a long time and teach you. This is a rare opportunity. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.